when you look at the invitations at a strictly frequency level, like here's an invitation to go lower your frequency, here's an invitation to go raise your frequency. We generally don't
look at things
like that. We look at things like there's an invitation, I have an obligation. There's an invitation, I have a wish or a desire, or I hope or a dream or a
avoidance.
Or no way, I want to do that. No way. I'm like dreading, right? Prejudging in a way.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my kitty.
Oh my cat.
Oh my cat.
Welcome
to another episode.
Driving to the Res.
With your favorite hostess, Theodora,
our cat.
And
Inelia.
Larry and Inelia.
And Larry.
Yes. Okay, now she's properly introduced. She's gone to lay down.
Yes. So, December 2024.
Dealing with our friends and our pets.
And our family during the holiday season. We do this every year.
We have holidays every year.
When we send a newsletter about it and how to deal with relatives and friends during the season.
Right. I think since about 2014 even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's we started a long time ago.
Well, you did. I wasn't even a whisper of a dream.
Yeah.
Maybe a whisper. So, anyway, yeah. So when the holidays come up, one of the things that changes, right, is that we are getting invited to parties or gatherings that, for the most part, we don't do most of the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. Not everyone, not all the time, not every situation matches this, but for a large part, we get like go to Thanksgiving or a Thanksgiving party, let's say, with "Don't bump the table, honey." I got pulled off for that, by the way.
By himself.
By myself. So anyway, yeah. So we'll get invited to parties and gatherings with our extended network of friends, family, workers, co-workers, things like that. Neighbors even. And you feel like there's a sense of obligation, a sense of want and wish and desire. You want to have an enjoyable time with whomever it is you're gathering, right? But it could be particularly challenging because I don't know who your family is, but my family, don't bump the table, honey. My family is opinionated, we'll say.
Yeah.
I don't know how everyone else's is, but mine have very strong opinions about, everything, including all of the things I think and talk about. Mm-hmm. And, right?
Which they seem to know better than you because...
Of course, everyone knows better than me. And they have their opinion about it.
I know.
And even if they know the same as me, they have their opinion about it. Mm-hmm. So, that's just my family. How about yours?
I rarely speak with them. Not in a bad way, but it's like I live so far from every single member of my family, extended family, that we don't really get together.
Right, we'd need to do a transatlantic flight.
Yeah.
Which, I'm all for.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And my kids who are in California, that's also a very long trip. But I guess they could qualify.
Yeah.
As meeting with friends and relatives who are in a different reality to us and live their life differently to how we do.
Right. And so the basic...
Different values.
Maybe different values, or maybe some that aren't necessarily complementary. And, we've been talking for the last year about, how to take responsibility for how you respond and react to the things that are going on around you, and how to not, let's say, rise above, but expand your awareness around some of these invitations for engagements, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, when you look at the invitations at a strictly frequency level. Like, here's an invitation to go lower your frequency. Here's an invitation to go raise your frequency. We generally don't
We don't look at things
look at things
way.
like that. We look at things like there's an invitation, I have an obligation. There's an invitation, I have a wish or a desire, or I hope or a dream or a
Avoidance.
or no way I want to do that. No way. I'm like dreading, right? Prejudging in a way.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways.
So since it can be like that, we want to deal with how do we enter into this situation with the most powerful, capable, interesting way to enjoy it, enjoy it as best you can. And then sometimes even say no, thank you times. I mean, how we go about doing that so we're not like feeling bad just from the saying no, for example, or going because we are obligated to, or going because we have a duty, and these other things. So
a lot of the times is, I want to go there because I love hanging out with my mom and my dad, but my brother's going to be there and he's this and the other, and I don't really want to put up with him. He's always attacking me. And there's a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
Like there's some people, and it'll be one relative who will pick on you or bully you or whatever.
Those kind of
it really gets under your skin, even though they're not aiming for you.
And the same thing for coworkers or whatever, the office party or these things.
And it makes it all amplified and worse because it's, add alcohol usually. And for some families, it's add some drugs as well. Remember when we went to your dad's and they had been taking mushrooms?
They were a bit paranoid because they didn't expect us to visit.
Right. Yes.
They're like, oh no.
Yes.
It's fun.
And they were all like not quite there. So they didn't know how to talk. And
yeah, that was quite funny.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So there's all these things added to it. So yeah, every December I send out a newsletter for many years now. And I add a little bit of commentary to it. Actually, I don't know if we sent it last year, but most years we do. A little bit of commentary to update it for that year, because every year different things happen, right? So
and this year we have a big election thingy.
We had,
and so some people are so yes, and some people are like, oh no,
we're all gonna die any moment.
The end of the world. So you mix those up with the holiday alcohol, and pretty soon you're gonna have it on like Donkey Kong.
On, man. Yes.
And even if it's not you, it'll be others in it, right?
Yes.
Because you can go to the gathering and not be engaged and be a little high frequency bubble of your own, and that one and that one are at it.
Yeah.
It's like at it. And that very thing is catching.
When I was younger, I would never sit between my brother and sister. It was dangerous. It was literally dangerous to sit between them.
Yeah. I didn't bump it. That was the dog.
All right. Every December, I send a newsletter on how to deal with your family and friends during the holiday season. I also send a link to the video I made several years ago to help with it. This year, we will also have a podcast about it, and you're listening to it right now. We'll be adding additional commentary for this year, 2024. Make sure to listen to this podcast right through to the end. And also join the second hour, support our work, and get into really depth with the panelists who all have very, very different experiences around this holiday season.
They have corporate jobs, they have
extended
duties
families, different
responsibilities,
cultures,
member
Canadian,
they're a member
Mexican,
of
American, all the things.
The tribe here, so it's like there's a little pull. Do I go with my real family? Do I go with my podcast family? Do I go with my high frequency tribe? Do I go to... What do you do? It's all this push and pull.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend getting into the second hour on this one, because all of them are going to have something to say.
Yes, and you can relate.
And you'll be able to relate.
It's December again, and most of the planet is going into deep religious mode. 2024 has had a spike of stress and fear, culminating in the events of November in the USA, which seem to have affected most of the media pushed agendas around the planet. What happened in November, babe?
They just had an election, and then at the end of the election, even though nothing has actually happened, everything changed.
Okay. We can talk about that later.
Sure.
This will cause several things to come into our lives and energy fields. One of them is the cultural tradition of spending time with individuals whom we would normally not spend any time with. These could be workmates, families, and friends whom we wouldn't spend time by choice.
Some, right?
Yeah, some we do.
Some we do.
Due to the events since the main implementation of the physical split in reality, this year we'll see a continuation of the big rift between families. Fear and stress will be plentiful for the month of December. A second one is a reestablishment of the giving away of our power to a third party in order to be connected to our higher self, God, divine consciousness, source energy, goddess Gaia, and or other manifestations of our own divinity. In other words, our disconnection from our core self is strengthened.
Okay. It's hard for me to, relate to that because
You don't do it.
Don't have that.
Yeah. I don't think you grew up with it, did you?
Mm-mm.
Taken to church and told that God will punish you. And
No, I didn't have any of that.
you're lucky.
Yep, I'm lucky.
Yep. The pressure also that is quite big, around this time is the whole present thing.
Presents and have enough money for it.
Yeah.
And, everything costs a lot more right now. Even gas to get to the store to get the stuff.
Yeah. And
That's like, I remember.
For a couple of generations now, we've brought up children who think that they're entitled,
Well, because they are.
Yeah. And they make demands of their parents, which, Larry keeps knocking. It's the computer table. You got told off by someone.
I guess I'm just asking for another.
Yes, that enough. So that division, there's the stress is added also, not just religious, but the whole
Produce and provide
and all that type of stuff.
Right. It's like in a time when plenty of people are, not to say just scratching by, but they're making it happen and making it work. But at the end of the 2 weeks or so, there's like $50 or something, if they're lucky. And the checks that are written for the next week are counting on the money that's coming on Monday automatic deposit to be there. And if it doesn't, then everything starts really rapidly collapsing.
Yeah.
I know I have friends whose paychecks didn't show up and their checks bounced, and now, they've got you have to buy all this Christmas stuff and you have to pay for all these bounced checks, and the paycheck that you got just wasn't even obviously covering the whole 2 weeks.
Is that what happened at the res?
Yeah. So how are you supposed to manage through that? It's like, gosh, it's like that's the perfectly worst time. It's like a perfect storm.
It is, and it's not.
And that's what we're talking about.
It's a perfect storm being co-created
through nobody's fault. It wasn't like the tribe didn't do their thing right, or the banks messed up, or any of that. It's like,
I pretty much think that there's a co-creation to increase fear and stress during December. But, we're not victims here. We make choices, right? So we have to be cognizant of that too.
Well, that's part of why you have this article.
Yes.
So that you can look at this situation instead of being the victim of it. You can, even the one exercise, I chose to.
Yeah. The exercises that I give to Walk With Me Now members in our second hour and supporters. Yes. You get homework in a sense.
Yeah, you get homework in the second hour. And some of that homework, the last and the most recent one.
I don't think it's second hour, actually. I think it's their other supporters. But anyways.
I'm pretty sure, but.
You get a homework if you're part of our community, and that homework, the last one was to change the word I have to I choose to. And OMG.
Changes everything. I choose to go to work. I choose to bounce my checks. I choose to not have any money for Christmas or whatever. In other words, you begin to put the responsibility back where I guess it lies.
Where you have power to change it.
And where
yourself.
It lies is with you, and you are the one who has the power to change it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, hey, that's pretty powerful. Okay.
This year, the illusion of disconnection has been increased to include the human collective in all forms. Many people are terrified of hugging their loved ones still, for example. If it would not be at all surprising if there's another pandemic before the end of December 2024.
Right. I doubt anyone listening to this is afraid of hugging their relatives for
No, but you'll
diseases.
get people like that.
But you'll be associating or going to
Yeah.
the party, and there'll be people like that.
masked
And be like,
and-
you want to go give them a hug? They're like, no,
No.
don't kill me.
Yeah, or wearing masks and maybe wanting you to wear one.
Yeah, I guess that happens.
Yes, yeah. This causes several things to manifest at a social level. Have the highest rates of suicide of any month around the world, for example. Desperation and the sense of lack gets amplified. Indulgence and addictions get triggered. Suicides and stress-related deaths such as heart attacks and turbo cancer will be off the chart this year. Stay on your toes, connect to high-frequency friends, and find your tribes if you haven't already done so. A good remedy for after you've been to one of these work meetings or family meetings is to just go and hang out with your friends for a while, that high frequency.
Yeah.
Go for a hike, go to the beach, go sailing, or just go on your bikes together, or have breakfast or lunch, or
Yeah, so sometimes you go in with the best intentions and the best preparations, and you got it all like down to a T, but you're also human in a human body, and sometimes things just don't go exactly as you expected or planned or wanted. Mm-hmm. And so afterward, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Afterward, even plan for having one of these
other
meetings that you just love, and there's no issue with.
If you plan it ahead of time, is really helpful. Mm-hmm. Very helpful. Even if it's like an online meeting, getting together.
It can be online friends. It can be.
Yeah.
My kitties. Okay. Keep at it, honey.
All right. So what does this mean to us energetically? Well, it's a big, heavy, and low frequency wave going through our own emotional, energetic, mental, and physical body. So take care of your body, yeah? It can trigger the savior energy in us too. Or perhaps also the martyr or even the victim energies. All those can get triggered. So what can we do? Well, first of all, we can learn how to deal with our sleeping relatives and friends. I have a YouTube about this topic, which I would highly suggest you watch. And the links is in the article, but also on the details for this podcast.
Yeah, I just watched it, and it was from 2014, and it's so cool to watch how it's current and relevant, even though it's, 10 years old.
10 years old, yes.
And how somehow in 10 years, even though it keeps getting watched and looked at, it's still got the same number of views. Mm-hmm. How'd that happen, honey?
I know, I don't know.
Nobody's ever watched it again since whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Even if you do not plan to meet up with sleeping friends and family, do rewatch the video. It gives you plenty of tools that you may need for the coming weeks and months. Secondly, set up an alarm in your phone or clock every 2 hours or so during the meetup, party, or event. And when it rings, simply observe where you are and when you are. Ask yourself, am I here now? And see how comfortable you are in the here and now.
And maybe not an alarm, maybe a vibrate alarm.
So it doesn't like ding, ding, ding.
Everybody look at you, go like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Actually, the friends I hang out, when their alarms go off, I always ask them, and it's always really fascinating stuff, exercises that they're doing. So, all right. So, if there is deep discomfort, then take action to move into a situation or place that feels more resonant to you. Make sure to do this without putting others wrong and you right. Without judgment of yourself or others, simply shift your place, location, space, and frequency.
Right. And, you can preset yourself up with a few reasons.
You can
to extricate yourself. It was
you
like
can,
the thing is getting uncomfortable, and you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't the right spot for me right now. You know, that's why God invented bathrooms. Gotta go potty. I'll be right. I'll be back in a bit. Right?
Yes.
I'm sure I'm not the first one to thought of that.
All right. This is an excellent exercise no matter what situation you're in. Do it regularly at least once as part of your daily routine even. Where am I? Where am I? And when am I?
Where am I and when am I?
Yeah.
What if you're where am I, when am I? Let's give that a sec look at.
Okay.
So where am I? What do you mean, where am I? I'm like sitting here on the couch. Do you mean where am I in my mind? Or where am I literally?
You can do both.
So I'm literally on the couch. Am I actually on the couch, or am I thinking about the beach in Kauai? That kind of thing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the couch thinking about Kauai just now because I said it.
Okay. So you're in Kauai right now.
I'm back. And when am I? When am I could be right here, right now in the conversation that we're in, or I could be like 5 minutes or 2 minutes from now trying to wait for you to stop talking so I can say what I wanted to say. Or I could be 5 minutes ago thinking about the breakfast I had. Or I could be tomorrow or the next year waiting for this vacation that might never come. Who knows what? Those are the
Vacation that might never come.
This is the when and where you are. That's what you mean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Indeed.
If you're, what do you do about it though? I mean, what do you do with it? Say the alarm goes off. I'm at this party. Somebody's there, 3 or 4 of them, and they're talking, and you know it's 4 hours into this office party now. They're starting to get drunk, and they're getting loud and belligerent, and they're being a little bit, I would say, loud in their opinions. You know, and I'm not drinking, and I'm not following the progression of loudness.
Right.
So it's like,
right.
where am I and when am I? Let's say is it good to be like tomorrow when I wake up in the morning drinking orange juice so I'm not there? Or
Well, as
what's
you,
the purpose of that exercise?
yeah, because you become aware and conscious of where you are, and then you can take action to put yourself somewhere more comfortable.
Right. So I can't literally go tomorrow and be thinking about the orange juice for it, because I need to look at where I am physically now in this party where it's actually uncomfortable and move to a place that is more comfortable.
Right.
So it's probably not everybody that the party's all drunk, right?
Right.
Not everybody's getting loud. So you can move to a place where they're less loud.
You could. That could be a possibility.
You could like look at your watch like that. Go, oh my, does anybody have a watch anymore?
Some people do, yeah.
Or pick up your phone. Oh my God, look at the time.
Yeah.
And then you can
I've got another party to
gracefully exit. I have another
With
party.
myself and my books.
I have a party at home.
My books.
Yeah, okay. So that's the point. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so for the next few days, I would also suggest you do the guided meditation, the high frequency human collective expression, once a day. You can find it in the notes
Okay.
and also in the article. Whenever we shift frequency, especially when we go from a low frequency or negative situation to consciously shifting the personal high frequency or positivity, we're transforming and morphing the entire human collective agreement of what happens during this holiday season. The more of us that have the intent and actively and consciously move and shift from the given seasonal programs and media campaigns into an empowered and joyful state of being, the faster we will achieve the reality we want to experience on this planet.
You know what?
What?
Some ways you can think of these little challenging parties, if they are challenging, as almost like tests. It's like, how well have I done in my
This last year.
last year? How well have these trainings and these meditations
And all the
maybe
tools.
these tools and these things? Am I like talking the talk, or can I walk the walk? Let's go try it out. You know, this could be an interesting challenge, not in a negative way, but you know, the whole reason you really go to a party is for connection and engagement, and you want to engage and connect with these friends and family on the high frequency side of whatever they are, right?
Exactly.
Right. Even the crabbiest guy or crabbiest gal, they have like something they like and they're happy about. I mean, not everybody's just Debbie Downers, right? And even, well, whatever. When you go into like all dreading having to go to a thing, you kind of bring the wrong frequency with you. Right?
Yes.
When you prepare yourself properly and you have good intentions and you acknowledge that, there's 10 co-creators or 50, not everyone on the same frequency, that how I handle life with the tools that I've learned over the year, let's see how putting those into practice works. It's will be a nice experiment, and it may be a challenge. It may be just like, oh my God, that was the best Christmas party from work I've ever been to. For some reason, the case of booze didn't show up, and everybody was mad for like about 30 seconds, and then we started drinking apple cider bubblies, and they were laughing. It was like, oh, now we don't drink. Everybody was like giggling and having a great time. It was the funniest thing I ever saw. And for instance, it can happen. Right.
Yeah. Right. It is extremely important for you to work on embodying the new paradigm right now. This is the moment of truth when we actively step and become the higher consciousness of humanity on Earth.
Yeah.
See us on drivingtotherest.com for the second hour.
That was a quick ending. Oh my God, we're already at the end?
We're already at the end, babe.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is the other thing. I mean, the start of it is how to deal with family and friends. And, generally in the conversations we have, there's some people who are super excited to go to these things.
Yeah.
They're not upset about it at all.
No.
And then they get to them, and often as not, they're either disappointed or happy, right? Disappointed because, I was really hoping Uncle John wouldn't get whatever, or I was really hoping Fred would be yes, or who knows, whatever, these kind of things. And maybe they're disappointed, maybe they're not, but they're like cheerful and dressed and ready to go to the party, right?
Yeah.
And in our own group or tribe, right? We have parties, we have gatherings, we have get-togethers, Sundays, we have their Thanksgivings and things like that. And there's no dread to going to them, but at the same time, there is how do you go into those where I'm not worried about anybody getting drunk or loud or belligerent or mean or, I don't really have in the mixture. I'm going to have to deal with sleepy whatevers that don't have a idea of the kind of things that we know, we talk about, we think about. We don't really have we don't have that engagement to go to. But our engagement at the same time still requires, effort and work.
Yeah.
To go to prepare, get the food, get lined up, organize, arrange, clean up after, all the bits and bobs, right?
Yeah.
So how do we go in to a high frequency group? How do we prepare for that if we're not really worried about low frequency people there, right?
Yeah.
Because that's important too. We should just talk about that in the second hour.
Yeah.
Because, why?
But there are a lot more questions too.
Right. Because, they go to these gatherings. They show up to these things.
Do.
They have families that are probably saying, hey, come here to this place of the world instead of there.
Remember that time when we were asked to host a birthday party for one of our grandchildren? And we said, okay, but to understand that we have a alcohol and drug-free home.
Yeah.
So there won't be any booze for the party.
Yes.
And our daughter said, sure, no, that's even
no
perfect,
problem. Yeah,
because she doesn't drink either.
Right.
And then her friends arrived drunk because they heard there was no booze here. So
they got drunk first.
Yes.
Like, I used to do that.
How do you deal with that? It's like, we were like, okay.
It was like
very strange.
There's some, it's like we'll call it like a little bit like oil and water. They were in a whole different part of their lives. When you go to a party, a toddler's birthday party, obviously you get drunk. Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
It's only weird if you're not a drinker.
Okay. I guess.
That's
Otherwise, the only way you can survive a toddler party
is
if
to
you're
have
drunk.
get a little bit
Yeah.
a little sauced up. Right. It's quite.
Oh
it
my
was.
gosh.
It was a good party.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember many years ago with my ex-husband, we went to an office party. And the office party that year was held by his boss at his home. He had a giant home, really beautiful. And he had like 4 daughters or 5 daughters or something like that. And he didn't drink. And he also said there will be no alcohol at this party. I thought it was marvelous,
Yeah.
right? And when we got there, it was amazing because what we are used to now, like the parties are super interesting and exciting and everything that we carry out every week at the community up here. It was a little like that, you know. It was interesting and conversations were amazing and the people were actually interesting to talk to, even though I'd never met them before or anything.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was like take away alcohol even from any type of perspective and everything becomes more interesting. But there were people who were stressed and they didn't know how to function.
Nervous or
nervous and didn't know how to
socially
function.
awkward or
yeah. Socially awkward and what do we do now? And, you know,
because
plus the boss equation, of course, you know.
Boss, yeah.
He was the boss, so everybody else was his subordinates, you know.
You know, I read just the other day that actually more people smoke weed now than drink alcohol.
Oh, you said that, yeah.
I don't know if it's true. I didn't really follow up on it, but I think it might be just the state of Washington that there's more smokers than drinkers nowadays. Yeah. I haven't been to any smokers parties.
Yeah.
I haven't really been to any drinkers parties either. So I feel like I'm a little bit out of touch, but I wonder what it's like at the gatherings where everybody's smoking weed instead of drinking.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see.
I wonder if it's how different it is.
It kind of would be a little bit stinky, but...
yeah, I can't say it.
Maybe nobody cooks. Maybe then everybody's laying about on the sofa and eating chips and the turkey stays on the stove and cooked.
It's like somebody forgot to take it out of the oven.
Oh, the freezer. Yeah, still in the freezer.
That's
oh, yeah, the turkey's still frozen. It'll be 10 hours before we can eat.
That's how our party went, though. We had 2 turkeys and neither one of them cooked. They're little tiny turkeys, 9 pounds.
There was a block on this turkey.
There was a block on those turkeys, you know. They were supposed to cook in about 2 hours, and they were 4.5 hours.
Because
they came out like a ham.
Yeah.
Because they're well smoked.
Yeah. Your barbecuers didn't work or something.
Barbecuers quit.
Yeah.
But, you know, we ended up having a vegetarian turkey dinner.
We started with all the vegetables
first. And we all laughed,
first.
and they had a good old vegetarian. I sent pictures to my daughter.
Except you
my daughter's a vegetarian.
Did not. You guys refused to eat until the meat was on the table.
Yeah, well, there's got to be 2 at every party.
Yes.
Everybody else just got along. And we're like, no, we will not.
We will not do
We
this.
will not touch those vegetables until we have meat.
And gravy.
I
had to make them gravy. I had to stop eating my veggies. They got cold. To get up and make the gravy for them so they would eat their Thanksgiving dinner.
I sent pictures of our Thanksgiving vegetarian dinner to my vegetarian daughter, and she was like, big thumbs up and so proud. I said, even the dogs are vegetarian this year because I gave our polar bear baby a big plate of the leftover vegetables and whatnot, and he gobbled it all down. I said, close enough.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. Wow, the sun is really bright in our faces.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hang out the second hour with our friends.
Okay.
And see how they handle these parties, because I think they actually go to them.
They do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll be nice to hear.
All right.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Oh wait, where'd they go?
Wait, what?
To second
Driving
hour.
to
How
the
are you going to
rest.
get there?
I told them already. Drivingtotherest.com. Subscribe for the second hour and support our work. Only $8 a month, man. It's not very much.
Not very much, but it's plenty.
It's plenty for us. Yes.
Thank you.
Makes a huge difference to us.
Okay. Thanks. See ya. In a sec.
So, and I says, look, okay, I'm not going to say anything. I'm totally relaxed at the restaurant. And the plate arrived covered in bell peppers, which I'm allergic to. You know, I looked at him and said, "See." It's like, oh my God, he said, "You're right." It's like, this is insane. Never seen anything like it. So it's like, when I say to people, "Are you ready for the larger game?" It does mean being responsible for how you feel, how you to be able to respond instead of react, and being able to see that you're nobody's victim.